You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, sir.
Ace Hood.
God is good. How you doing?
Ace, what's up, my brother? I've had a question I wanted to ask you since July 29th, 2016.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
That's 6:52 p.m.
When you tweeted out, if only everything you said on Breakfast Club was the truth, my brother.
Right.
What happened between you and DJ Khaled?
You know, a conversation. Most importantly, you know, me and Khaled, man, we've been through a lot, you know, in our career, and we've been able to do great things. And I think, you know, I appreciate Khaled for allowing me, allowing my process to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think that at some point, you know, relationships do end. You know, I think that, you know, I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. I kind of wanted to part ways, you know, create and be this whole free artist. You know what I'm saying? So that was really my main focus, and he supported it. You know, I think, you know, anytime you in like a dispute with like your label or whatnot, or like contract situation, you know, there's a lot of like naysayers and a lot of things happening on the outside. But for me, man, I think that it was just important that I go through my process, and he allowed me to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everything that we've done and we've been able to accomplish. I appreciate, you know, all the label help, all that Khaled has done, but people have to understand that this was a decision that I made, and I chose to ultimately leave and kind of part ways and do my own thing, because I had a larger vision for myself that I wanted to do. So for me, I'm just like, I need to be able to live out my purpose fully, and I just couldn't do that necessarily under the umbrella.
So why did you want to leave?
For me, it was just, I had my own vision, man. You know, I think that, you know, Khaled has such a large voice, you know, and for me, I needed my own voice. I needed to say my own things, you know what I'm saying? And at the moment that I wanted to kind of veer off and do my own thing, you know, Khaled is also the guy who helped and bring me into this whole thing. So, you know, obviously we were brothers, you know what I'm saying? And we still are brothers. And I just wanted to be free, man. I just wanted to kind of just create something for myself, because my legacy meant that much. Because I'm like, yo, I'm much more than just a guy who has these hits and has these records. You know, that's radio. I have a body of work. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot more to offer to the game and to the people, and I wanted to be able to display that, you know, and I felt like I necessarily couldn't do that being under the umbrella, which is fine. You know, people, you go through relationships and broken relationships all the time, you know, and I think that it was just all about moving forward with me. That was my main thing.
You kind of did an open letter to whom it may concern, and you did it just that. You said he's still your man.
That's still my brother, because, you know, it's all lessons, man. It's all lessons in our life. I think that, you know, my whole entire journey up until this point has all just been lessons. You know, I'm not mad at anybody or any situation that I've been in. Like, it was just truly a lesson for me, man, and just. For me, it was all about how do I move through this and how do we move forward from this.
Now, was it finances? Because I saw, I think his name is Nino Brown. He said that you were crying to Khaled for $5,000 because you were about to get evicted.
No, man, no. You can't believe what you hear on this, you know, with these guys out here. I don't get into all this internet stuff. You know, this guy don't even know me. We don't have conversations. We don't talk. You know, him and Khaled had a situation to where he was signed to the label, but then Khaled, you know, let him go because of, for personal reasons or whatnot, you know, things that he was doing, that's their business and what he do. But for him to speak on my situation, to speak on me, he don't know me, he don't know where I come from, you know what I'm saying? And we don't have no relationship at all.
And
you
you've always
understand?
been very honest about, even when you came up to the Breakfast Club, and you really were very honest about things that you had gone through and the struggles. Because I think sometimes as an artist, people try to be very flashy, try to act like everything's cool, they got it like that. But you were very honest about what you went through to get to where you got to.
Yeah, you told us you were broke at one point, and you came up with Hustle
People do
Hard.
not
Baby.
wanna
Yeah,
admit
man,
that.
because I think that it's important, like, you know, like that should build me to who I am today. Like, you know, it's important. We all go through struggles. Even when you rich, you got problems. Problems don't stop.
I think it's
You know what I mean?
difficult for DJ Khaled being an artist, and I always tell everybody signing to an artist is very difficult. And the reason I say that is Khaled is trying to break himself. So
Right.
when he creates a record, he wants to make the biggest record he possibly can make. You know?
Exactly.
But as an artist signed to his label, let's say, for instance, I say the Wild Thoughts record. You know, Khaled says, I want to make this big record. So he gets Rihanna and Bryson Tiller because he's into making the Khaled brand bigger.
Right.
Now, if I'm Khaled's artist, I'm like, part of your job is to make me bigger.
Yeah, when you gonna throw me on one of them hits?
Why not put me on that record?
Yeah, when you gonna throw me on one of them hits?
So it's a difficult, place to walk. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So did that upset you as well? Like
absolutely. At some point, yeah, it did. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be a part of them records. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like I want to be able to catapult my career as well. But one thing I learned is that I can't take any of this personal, because why wouldn't you look out for yourself? It's your brand you built, and granted, we built this whole We the Best thing kind of together and allowed it to flourish. But I just didn't take any of it personal, man, because at the end of the day, I got to make sure I'm good and I got to make sure I'm right. And that was the whole thing of me moving forward, was like, you know what? I need to be free from all of this. I need to be able to create my own life, say what I want to say, be who I want to be, and represent that on the fullest level possibly. And that was just my whole thing. So, I would always hear that and I would be upset. Just honestly speaking, I would be like, damn, man, I would love to be on that record because I know what that would do. How it would do for my setup. You know what I'm saying?
What would he tell you?
I mean, bro would always tell me just like, I understood. Even if he never said anything, I understood. Like, I get it. It's a business, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna go for like the bigger talent sometimes, in which I understand. Where like he didn't exclude me from certain records. Like he did put me on a project, which I'm forever grateful for. But I think that I'm not gonna ask for too much, man. I'm gonna kind of create my own opportunities and create my own thing for myself.
What pissed you off more, when he wouldn't put you on those hit records, or when he wouldn't tell people to follow you on Snapchat?
Neither one, man. Like I wasn't pissed about anything. Snapchat and all that. I don't get in all that. I'm a human being at the end of the day. So, I have a real life outside of just like music and all Snapchat and all that other stuff. So I wasn't necessarily ever pissed off at him or be like, man, I might have been frustrated a little bit, when people would bring it up and the naysayers. But for me, I'm just like, I got to keep pushing.
Did things get more difficult as he became a bigger star? Because Khaled became a
honestly, because the moment that I started to transition to my own thing is when his thing catapulted. Like the whole success with like the Snapchat and everything, but that never detoured me on what I needed to do and what I wanted to do, because obviously people was looking at me, even close friends at some point was like, yo, Khaled is growing so large and he's doing amazing things, like why leave him, why move on? But for me, I'm just like, I want to flourish, man. I got something to say to these people, you know what I'm saying? And like, I just wanted to be represented in a whole different way, because I'm so much more than just like the hits that's been normally put out.
I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree, but it's because the first time I heard you with a Wayne record, I was like, wow, that's a Hood and Wayne. Even though that was a
We Out Here joint.
We Out Here joint.
And we had a Hustle
joint. You know what I mean?
Too.
Yeah. I was like, he put you in the spotlight, but that's also the reason why I would never have an artist. Artists are difficult because you got to balance your life and their career. And I think with Khaled, he's the biggest DJ, urban DJ in the world right now.
Right.
He's not even a DJ anymore. He's an artist. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's kind of like a layup. Like, you there, ball, there's nobody there, I could just lay the ball in, all I got to do is come with a hit now. You know what I mean?
Right. And think about it too, like, think about the relationships he's allowed me to be a part of.
Absolutely.
Most importantly, like, so when people think from a perspective of like, oh, he didn't put him on records, or he didn't do this, he didn't do that, but think about me being associated with a DJ Khaled and all of the relationships and the people that I was able to meet along my journey. I probably wouldn't have met Wayne and met Akon and, met all these great artists that I've been able to work with if it wasn't having the relationship in the brotherhood that me and DJ Khaled had.
Are you signed now, or are you independent?
I'm independent at this point.
So
I'm
you do
independent.
everything yourself?
God is good, yeah. I'm doing everything myself, man.
It's interesting though, because from the outside looking in, it seems like you got every opportunity. The only thing I used to ever wonder about was like, why Khaled don't put his artists on his albums?
Right.
You know what I mean? I put him on the big records.
I was on the album, yeah. I was
not all of them, maybe the first one.
Everyone that I've been around for, I've been a part of the album. Absolutely.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right,
So what you feel like they didn't do though? Because it seemed like you got a lot of opportunities.
I think that
you put a lot of numbers on the board.
Yeah, we put a lot of numbers on the board, but I think that for me, it was really just pushing this whole like free artist thing, right? It was about, because I felt restrained in so many ways, and being under DJ Khaled, because Khaled has such a large voice, and any time we would do just anything, Khaled would just be powerful. At some point, I wanted my own thing, and I was willing to do whatever it took for me to have my own thing.
Did you always feel like they were doing favors for Khaled and not necessarily because they respected you?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that would be a problem with me.
That's a great point.
That would
And
be
I
a problem
also,
with me.
and I also felt that I knew a lot of these relationships where people was doing certain things out of the strength and faith of Khaled and not necessarily for Ace Hood. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, and I understand that, which is, you know, I ain't got no salty or no bad relationship with nobody. I treat everybody with respect. That's just the type of man that I am. But, yeah, a lot of them relationships and you know, stem through him.
Have those relationships changed now that you're independent? You feel like
some of them have. Some of them have. You know, some people, you know, earlier on, it was like a thing of kind of like a pick and side thing, I think, earlier on. You know what I'm saying? And I had to accept that, and I wasn't mad at it. But it's important for people to know that, you know, there is, you know, it's all about love with me. You know what I'm saying? And I chose, you know, even with that tweet situation, like, I was on the edge because I was frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I was in a situation and I was trying to figure my way through it. And everything was new for me. You know, life was asking me to be a man. It was asking me to be a boss. It was asking me to be all of these things I wanted, you know, I had to be in order to be successful, especially when you're going out independent and you had somebody with such a strong force and that created a lot of the relationships for you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't even remember him saying nothing too crazy in that interview. He basically said the same thing you just said, like, everybody make their own decisions at the end of the day. I don't know what's really on his mind, but I wish him the best.
Right, and that's the truth. Because the moment I came to him, of course he's gonna feel a way. If we brothers or we got a relationship, and I tell you I'm going to part ways, you're gonna be a little frustrated by that. But you're gonna deep down understand, because if that's what you want to do and you really support somebody, you're gonna say, all right, cool. I'm gonna allow you to go walk your path, and I'm gonna be in supportive of it. So that it was all a conversation in us sitting down, which was one of the most nerve-wracking things for me ever in life, you know, because I got nothing. Yeah, man, because, you know, all that was new for me, dog.
Where did y'all meet up at?
We met up at the studio. No. We met up at the studio, you know what I mean? And as soon as I seen him, we greeted, we hugged, you know, and this was like, we hadn't spoke, honestly, for probably about 8 months.
You called
8 months.
He called you?
I contacted him.
He didn't hit you after that tweet? He didn't get at you immediately? Like,
I mean, there was some conversation. Yep, there was conversation. But, you know, Khaled always played like the love card. So for me, I was like, much as like all the naysayers wanted me to go crazy and they wanted me to wild out, you know what I mean? That's what they wanted me to do. But it was important that me and him have an understanding between it all. You know what I'm saying? And that was my main thing. So as soon as we linked up, it was all based on the conversation. We hugged out and we talked about what we've done and where I'm headed and what I want to do. And for me, it meant the world for him to just say, you know, Ace, this is what you want to do. You're my brother. I can't wait to support you. I can't wait to be behind you in all your endeavors. I wish you nothing but the best. And the fact of me playing it with the love card is the reason why I'm out of my situation today. It's the reason why I'm free from all restraints, free from all stigmas, free of all labels. You know, I live my life freely, man. You know what I'm saying? My life is rich.
The funny thing is, though, everybody always gave you props for being a dope rapper. Like, it never seemed like, you know, you were an artist that Khaled was carrying, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Just being around the greats and seeing so much, I've always been a sponge, and I think that for me, the large difference is I had ideas, but I didn't share too many of my opinions of what I felt. You know, y'all see me coming around, and I was quiet. Ace was always the humble guy. He really never said much. You know, Khaled did his thing, but for me, it was just like finding my voice. You know what I'm saying? Finding my voice and saying what I want to say. But
I don't think people bought into Ace though, as they should have. I think they bought into your singles. And your records, but I don't think they bought into your bodies of work, you know.
Exactly.
Sitting here thinking about it, I can tell you all the singles and I can play all the singles, but I don't remember the bodies of work, and I think that's probably one of the biggest problems. And I think it's best that you do separate and do your own thing, because I wasn't sold into Ace Hood as an artist.
Exactly.
I was sold into Bugatti. I was sold into Hustle Hard. You know what I mean? Which I think that's the main thing. You know, I don't know Ace Hood.
And that's
I know more of you by following you on Instagram and knowing your life than through your music.
Exactly.
Well, people won't get to know you if you're doing interviews with Khaled, because Khaled will overtalk you.
Exactly, which is true. But for me, and that's what I'm saying though, is because I was so much more of an artist than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I want people to truly know who I am and not just connected to all these features and all these larger records, but that know that I got a story to tell. You know what I mean? And the story is powerful.
That's why To Whom It May Concern was kind of important, like an exorcism.
It's exactly, you know, if you go to a therapist or something like that, they will usually tell you, write down what it is that you're feeling. So I think subconsciously I wrote down everything that I was feeling, not to just put it on paper and kind of give people my struggles and allow that energy to inspire change in somebody else. But for me to like say it, release it, and move forward.
Right.
Yeah, because I didn't even know that you had twins and one of them had passed.
Yes, sir.
God
yes,
bless
sir.
her dead. I had no
God
idea.
bless. Yep. I had twin baby girls. My baby girl Lyric, she passed away. You know what I mean? And
How old was she?
She was about 8 months.
Damn.
So difficult.
Yeah, she was about 8
Like
months.
what, one of those?
Yeah, what happened? Huh?
It was a situation to where, you know, she was in NICU and like she was born without like an anal, like in, you know, so they were trying to, she was like undeveloped, you know what I'm saying? So they were trying to, you know, usually when they have you in NICU and stuff like that, they usually want you to, you know, you got to poop and do all the normal stuff in order for you to kind of move on to the next process.
Right.
But she just never moved on to the next process. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I just kind of had to live with that and, you know, allow that to just really be, you know, my wings, you know what I'm saying? And her be my angel, you know, as I move throughout this life. So, yeah.
You took healthy living to the next level.
Next level.
Times 50.
Yeah.
You follow Ace Hood. Y'all follow Ace Hood?
It looks like a little muscle fitness magazine ready.
Facts.
Times 30.
Men's health. Holla at me.
health.
Let's be honest. GQ, all that. We need it all.
But that's important, especially
need it
right
all.
now with people suffering from obesity and
Yes.
all kinds of things that.
I don't even think Ace Hood eats, man. I never see him eat. All I see him do is work out, do yoga, and hang out with the family. I'm like, this guy don't even eat, man.
Yeah, I mean, I do, man. I just watch everything that I intake. You know what I'm saying? And that comes down, and it's not just with that. It's just everything that I do in life at this point. You know, I think at some point I was just kind of just focusing on things that really matter to me.
Gotcha.
And I think for my music to get better, everything that had nothing to do with music allowed my music and me to be better.
Do you do carbs?
You know what I'm saying? Carbs?
Yeah.
Every once in a while I do carbs. You know what I mean? But I try to lighten off on the carbs and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
But I do all type of training, though. It's not, you know, I go from doing hot yoga to doing MMA training to doing, you know, weight training to doing, you know, HIIT cardio to meditation, all that. That's
hot
my
yoga's
life.
really good to get your muscles not sore, so you can like relax them. Because I always tell people who have like back issues or they get sore from working out, that hot yoga will make sure that you can
move. You can move and be
Sometimes
flexible.
Ace Hood be looking like he be in temples, man. He be all over the
You
place.
said
Yeah,
that
because I
yoga
be
saves your
praying and go ahead.
yoga saves your relationship.
Which relationship?
With Sheila Marie.
Sheila Marie, my queen in the building.
Okay, hello, Sheila.
It didn't. Let me not. You know, it didn't save my relationship. It helped my relationship to flourish. That's what it did. Because the more that I understood myself, allowed me to be able to be of service to not only my woman but my children, to my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am a vessel of God, and me, I'm like, if you don't take care of yourself, ain't no way you can represent God.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So for me to be able to represent you in the right way, I have to be healthy. And that's the thing that I'm pushing to the people. Like, you know, it's part of me just being this whole free artist, which I love, is that I can be whatever I want to be, because some days I may wear chains, but I'm not constricted by it. You know what I'm saying? You know, most of the times I'm in hair and pants, no shirt, praying, meditating with my kids, running around the house and stuff like that. That's that richness that brings me that laughter and that happiness. And then I go do my music. You know what I'm saying?
How did couple yoga help though? Because you don't talk in couples yoga, really.
I mean, you don't.
Yeah.
But it's the fact of us being there, you know, looking to the left or right, whatever, you know, and seeing your partner going through and holding them stretches, like, that means a lot. Because, you know, being a hot yoga in that heat and have to hold a stretch and hold the position is intense.
Well, no, the
intense.
one yoga
said it
studio,
stinks.
it depends.
You said it
'Cause I used to
stinks.
go
She
to
said
this
hot
one.
yoga. She was like, if you come me to hot yoga,
You going to
It
the
was in
wrong one.
Brooklyn.
I'm like, I'm not going if it's
But that's,
No.
I'm gonna tell you why though,
Angela.
because I would go like in the morning on the weekend, and people would come and not shower and come straight from like being out drinking, and I could smell like, you know, and my nose is very sensitive. So certain times people next to you could tell they rode their bike there in the sun
And
and
they-
drink.
So why would I want to go there?
But they're not all like that.
It stinks, Evie. You want to go?
No. It doesn't. It doesn't. She probably just went to a
It was a couple
facility
of
that
bad
just wasn't
experiences,
right.
but I went to a better studio.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
But
way
but at
nicer.
some point you went to a nicer one, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You just got to find your place. But it helps you to be flexible in life. We want to be flexible people, right? The
And I
same
love to
thing with
see-
your bones and your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should want to be flexible.
And
I think that people that are restricted, like, their life is restricted. Like, the
Right.
more you able to be free,
Loosen
the
up,
more
nigga.
you able to like
Yeah.
flourish in life, right? To me, that's how it works on
And
that level. You
I
know?
love to see you and your wife
Yes, absolutely.
Always very open, like very proud of your relationship, you know, on Instagram and everything, and just really pushing that because, you know, a lot of times people be like, oh, well, I don't want people to know about this, about that. But I think it's so great to be proud of your family and proud of like,
Did Amber Rose come to her defense last year?
Yep, she did.
She was having some people was coming at her about dating a rapper.
I don't think it was a dating a rapper thing. I think she was just supporting her, you know, because I think a part of like Amber Rose kind of she understands, you know what I'm saying? She understands what she's dealing with and like her path and stuff like that. And you know, Queen is always offering to like give help and stuff like that. You know, she's a very you know, mindful woman and a very spiritual and the most enlightened woman, one of the women that I know, you know. So yeah, she just give off good vibes and people just love to support her, bro, and be there for her. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So
Well, Trust the Process mixtape, August 21st.
Project.
Oh, Trust the
call it a
Process.
mixtape.
Yeah,
Because
there you go. We
the
just had
reason
that
why-
conversation with
I
Fur.
don't-
I'm so
confused.
tired of the
I
No,
don't-
mixtape.
because
EP.
understand like you know the process between a mixtape and a project to me is very different. This is more so not an album, but not an album, so I just scaled it down to a project. A mixtape is more so records just kind of just thrown together. You kind of like freestyling, you going about it. No, the last record might not have nothing to do with the record before, the record after, but this project is a project, which means that it's a story. So as you listen through the whole entire project, you start to understand what it is that I went through my life and the place that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So
why you trust the process.
and why I trust the process because we got to. Because in my hardest times when things was tough and I was even questioning whether or not I wanted to do the music thing, like probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I had to kind of just sit in peace and sit silent and really understand like I had to trust and have faith even in the midst of all when things was going crazy.
But you don't have no choice sometimes. Like, you know, the Bible even says be still. Sometimes God will sit you down.
Right.
So you can enjoy the process and figure out what the next steps are.
I agree with that.
If you didn't do music, what would you have done?
Something great. I don't know, but I mean, it was just a moment. That's the thing, and that's what I understand about life is like we're allowed to feel the way that we feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. You might wake up and be like, man, I ain't trying to really go to work today. It's cool. It's cool. You love what you do. You're gonna go and you're gonna show up anyway. But you know, did I get that feeling? Yeah, but I worked through that moment and was able to push through and be like, hey, man, you know, music is my life, and not only that, like my fans ultimately and the people around me is what kept me pushing. You know what I'm saying? It's just seeing them like, yo, Ace, your message is powerful. We love you, man. Keep going, keep pushing. I'm meeting people out in public and they just like, keep moving. You know what I'm saying? I had all these weird stigmas and all this stuff in my mind about what I couldn't do and I ain't want to move a certain way, but now I go out, I hang out, I walk up in Target, I go to Walmart if I want to. Man,
Oh,
we go.
you was living the rapper life.
I
You was
was
like, rappers
living.
don't go in
I was
Target.
living the rapper life,
Yeah.
and the moment I became free was the moment I let all that go. I let this shit. I just let it go, man. That's when I became happy. I'm
I did
like,
that 6
I
years
can
ago,
do
man.
it. Like I ain't living up to y'all expectations.
The family life, man. The dad life,
and
man. The husband life,
and
man.
I admire that
Best
too, Envy,
experience.
because I follow you, my brother. And Envy do. You know, you inspire me in a lot of ways, my brother, because I love what you do with your family. I love the coordination and the alignment that all y'all got. And I can
Coordination,
really
key
appreciate
word.
that. Because I think
That's
that
my wife
people
right there.
Matching
yeah,
outfits.
we gotta
That's my wife
see
do
that.
that, man.
We gotta see that. And it's a part of life. And I think that, you know, meeting somebody that can be your partner and y'all can grow and learn through life and walk through a journey together and create this beautiful thing, beautiful children, beautiful life. That's amazing. I want to tell the world about that. I'm not hiding who I am.
There's no. It's funny though, because there's no manual for celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start popping and you start making money, there's no rule book. So you just think, well, I'll never see Jay-Z in Target, so I guess I shouldn't go in Target
So I
either.
just exactly.
Yeah.
Cause for me, man, I you know, the whole Bugatti and the hustle hard phase, man. For me, I'm like, I was living it. I was this thing in my mind. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm getting money. I'm doing this thing. Yeah, we waking up in Bugattis. You know what I'm saying? We got big homes and cars and all this stuff. Till I'm like, you know, that's stuff. That's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
That's a lot to deal with, and especially. To doing it for people who necessarily don't even care about you on a real level. So I'm like, well, let me put this energy and time and understanding into the people that care, like my children and my family, and you know, and into my music. And I was like, and from that's when I started actually enjoying this and being happy, and like I was excited about coming around as this whole free artist, and I was like, this is me. This is who I am. So people ask, you know what I mean, guy asked me like, you know, why you choose to like display the yoga and all this other stuff, and why not keep it hidden? Because it's who I am.
It's your
And I
life.
know it, and it's my life. But people think, quote unquote, as being a rapper, or, you know, when you think rapper, you think jewelry chains, you think nice cars, you think I don't give a F, degrading women. Nah, man, I'm going to show you that we can do this a total different way. You
Absolutely.
can be a holistic person. You can be a great human being and make great music that inspires people.
Fuck those boxes they try to put us in.
Would you
man.
ever sign to a label again?
If God say so, you know what I'm saying? If it's right, it got to be on my terms. It got to look the way that I want it to look. If not, we ain't got no conversation. You know, if I do sign with a label, it's gonna be under my agreement, under my terms, and what I want it to look like.
There you have it. Ace Hood, Trust the Process Project.
You don't want to hear no bars?
August 21st. August 21st.
You don't want to hear no bars from Ace Hood?
If he got him, he gets
He got a little 16.
He got the project.
Okay. I know I spent some time away. Can y'all relate? No time to waste. Still I made some time to pray. 2 years ain't my kind of break. I got a lot to say. A lot on my plate. Still I made some time to pray. Nigga won't take my slice of cake. Nigga won't take my life away. Nigga like me gon' find a way. Questions. Too many questions. I heard the rumors, everybody making assumptions. I sat down with myself and had a discussion. I thought about it so much, I feel the concussion. I ain't want to write, I ain't want to rap, nigga like fuck it. See, but at the same time, I ain't about to be a nigga puppet. I ain't going back to that bucket. No arguments and no fussing. Don't tamper with my family, them, or them animals will start busting. You want to know what it feel like? You want to live in the limelight? You got to see niggas when they be out of the picture. You stuck in the contract? You want to see it through my sight? This is a lesson in my life. Funny thing is, you know who your friends is when you go through a tough time. Amen.
There you have it. Ace Hood. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.